Hey guys, this is Jason. I'm reviewing Trap, directed by M. Night Shyamalan and stars Josh Hartnett, as a dad who takes his daughter to a big concert to see her idol, Lady Raven, played by Saleka Night Shyamalan, one of M. Night Shyamalan's daughters. He may seem like a nice normal dad at first when he decides to do this nice thing by taking his daughter to a concert, but the catch is that he is a serial killer known as the Butcher, and when he finds out that there are a whole bunch of police officers in this concert trying to build a trap for him, he tries to think of other ways to try to escape so that he won't get caught. Whenever a new M. Night Shyamalan film comes out, I'm still gonna be interested in seeing it regardless of his reputation with his previous films, because with his previous films they can be a hit and miss for me. There are some that I've enjoyed, some that I love, and some that I liked, and there are some that no. Just no. And I was curious about watching this film, not just because of Shyamalan directing it, but the plot did get me intrigued, and I do think Josh Hartnett is a very underrated actor, with films like The Faculty and TV shows like Penny Dreadful, and I do like him in other films like 30 Days of Night. So, what did I think of Trap now that I've seen it? I have mixed feelings on Trap. It's not bad. It's not one of Shyamalan's worst films, but it's just a mixed bag for me. So the stuff that I liked first, Josh Hartnett is fantastic in this film. He plays the character very well, showing a very nice and good side to the character when he's trying to make his daughter happy, while also showing his dark side when no one is around while he's trying to think of a way to escape. Like he would think of like going in the back door that would lead him to the roof of the place. He would think that would be a good spot to escape at first, but he still has to realize that the whole place is filled with cops. So he has to try to think of other plans to try to escape this concert without being seen by the police. The cinematography is also really good. You get some cool shots in the film, like when they're in the concert and seeing Lady Raven perform one of her songs. You get at times like some cool shots where the camera is panning around Josh Hartnett and you see a bunch of phones with their lights on. There are some suspenseful and tension moments, like one scene involving a character in a bathroom. That one was a pretty intense moment. Now, with some of the suspenseful moments, Josh Hartnett's performance, the cinematography, and some of the songs are all great. They are some of the best parts of the film. But then this film decides to do something different for the plot. They, for whatever reason, go in a different turn for a character and Cooper, which is a little tough to explain who this character is without spoiling, but all I'll say is there's a character that they show throughout the first half and becomes very important in the second half, and it's supposed to be like a big important part for the film, which is something that's kind of relating to the director, which is again, a little tough to explain without spoiling. And for what Shyamalan was going with this character, I do kind of get why he would do that, but I would have gone with something else instead, because when you think about the story, you have to think about which character is supposed to be important and which one isn't very important for the rest of the film, because the second half of the film has some characters that should have been important for the film, but are barely mentioned and you don't really see them that much. It still feels like Shyamalan was trying to make some characters feel important, but unfortunately with the story that he went with, those characters just feel shoehorned in without serving more of a purpose in the story. Now, as for Cooper's moments and character development, you don't really get a lot. You get some parts here and there that are supposed to explain his backstory, but not enough to understand what's going on with him. And I feel like that part of the film should have had some more important info or stuff explaining more about his backstory, but they don't really get into a lot of that for some reason. So that means you don't really get much of an emotional weight for what's happening in the film, and you don't really care that much about what Cooper is doing. Now let's talk about the ending again without spoiling. That does involve a twist, which I was expecting a twist in this film to happen, especially since M. Night Shyamalan is known for having a lot of twist endings in his films. But the way they do this twist in the film felt out of left field because when you think about the twist in the entire film, there aren't really like any hints that are supposed to connect to that twist. And that's the kind of stuff you're supposed to do with a twist ending. Have some moments here and there that are supposed to set up something, and when that twist ending happens, you think about the rest of the film and what they use makes sense and makes the film a lot better. This twist ending really doesn't have anything like that. It's just there for the ending. I enjoyed the first half of the film overall. I really like Josh Hartnett in the film. It does have some good suspense and tension, and it's fun seeing him try to think of ideas of trying to escape. But the second half really ruins the rest of the film, going in a different direction that just makes it feel like a completely different movie that really isn't as good or as interesting as the first half, and having characters that weren't really necessary for the plot and having other characters that should have been necessary for the plot but just don't have a lot to do, and there's not a lot of backstory with Cooper being a killer. Now I know it sounds like I'm tearing this movie apart with some of the stuff I'm saying about it, but I didn't hate myself watching it. I don't think it's a completely bad movie, and it's definitely not my least favorite M. Night Shyamalan film. I would prefer to watch this over The Last Airbender, but it's not one of his best films either. It's somewhere in the middle for me when I compare this to his other films. I'm gonna give Trap a C+. Yeah, this is another disappointing Shyamalan film for me, but that's not stopping me from seeing what else he cooks up in the future. I am still looking forward to seeing what else he does, because he's one of those directors, when he makes a new film, you don't always know if it's gonna be good or bad. So guys, if you have seen Trap, what did you think about it? Do you think it's one of M. Night Shyamalan's best films, or do you think this is one of his worst films and worse than The Last Airbender? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing, because it helps my channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you know what other videos I'm posting. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.